4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen.
The biggest names in music.
Oh, wow.
Big names, big songs, big guests, big prizes.
Well, it's a big show.
The Big Show.
Put your hands together for the one and only
Glenn, Angel, FD, and Sean.
That's what I'm talking about.
1FM 91.3. Good times, greatest hits.
Good morning, Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room.
Such enthusiasm. Hi, Glenn.
Hello, Jerry.
Good morning.
And today we're going to be talking about cyberbullying. See how I'm going straight into it today?
Yes,
into it.
straight
Bam.
in.
We're
Because we
right
might
there.
not have enough time.
I
you
like
know?
the positivity, and then we're going into a topic that's like the bane of everyone's existence these days, especially, right?
True. Because everyone's been cyberbullied. Right, and of late, I think Joseph Schooling is getting cyberbullied as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Well,
No?
So what's the definition
Yeah,
of
I was about to
cyberbullying?
ask, what is the
What is the
definition?
definition? And where does the line get drawn?
well, we know what bullying is, right? Bullying is when you attack another person, but this bullying occurs over the digital devices. Cell phones, computers, tablets. It can be anywhere. It can be on your WhatsApp, your email, your Facebook, your TikTok, Snapchat. It can be anywhere. So even your Instagram, right? So all these the forums. So the gaming forums and all the different platforms. So so cyberbullying, you would need to like send nasty tags, negative tags, you would post things about them, many different ways and forms, and I'm going to invite everyone to share what are the different ways that they have experienced.
Oh.
Where lies the difference between violent is the only word I can think of, a violent opinion and bullying. You know what I mean? Where I can get rough in language, but I'm just violently criticizing you.
Okay, so a criticism is constructive. So we want it to be constructive, but bullying is destructive.
Okay.
It has a
right.
destructive nature. It puts you down. It demeans you. It just rips you apart.
Okay.
But someone's
that's bullying.
constructive criticism may be destructive to you without the person actually knowing it. The person that's giving that criticism.
Sure.
So how?
Sure.
yeah.
So is it really how the so-called victim reacts to the statement or the
Okay.
action?
So if it's done once and the bully, or rather the person that is given the opinion is told stop and the person stops, that's fine. But usually in cases like that, it's very persistent. They would repeat their behavior over and over again. So bullying is when somebody tells you to stop and you don't stop.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether it is cyberbullying. It doesn't matter whether it is emotional bullying, physical bullying, all the different sort of bullyings. When somebody tells you to stop, you stop. But when you persist, then it pushes into the realm of bullying.
Okay, that's interesting.
But for the case of all the people have been criticizing Joseph Schooling,
Yep.
would that be considered bullying though?
If they continue to do that, yes.
But this is society continuing to, or individuals continuing to?
So if the society continues to push, so there were different platforms, continuing to talk about it. There were different individuals who continue to feel that whatever that they said was justified and would not shut up.
But isn't it up to the person who is being bullied to say stop? If that person doesn't say stop,
Who's going to stop?
then
Or
other
block.
members of the public can't turn around and say stop bullying this person.
But most of the time we
that
don't.
person
But
has
most
to
of the
say
time we
stop.
don't engage.
Exactly.
So
that's my point.
So,
Because the less you engage, the sooner it ends, I feel.
That's what a lot of people believe.
Okay, so Joseph Schooling is slightly different. It's very public, so there were many people standing up for him. But most of the time, we're talking about the vast majority, bullying goes quiet, it's very silent. So the the one that is being bullied feels very isolated, feels very lonely. No one is standing up for them. So it doesn't matter whether it's cyberbullying or any sorts of bullying, right? Because it is a very isolating sort of experience. You are in it alone with the bully coming at you, and you have no way to fend the bully off.
Right. And are those that are bullied more likely to be more introverted? And that's why they don't say anything, because it really is for the bully to bully someone who allows themselves to be bullied, right?
Well, it doesn't mean that they are introverted. It probably means there are various reasons why they don't fight back. Perhaps they feel it's justified. Perhaps they feel that they are they themselves have a lot of self-doubt. They're very insecure. They don't know who to turn to. They don't know where to report. And if you're on the internet, who do you report to? I mean, it was only recently that, Facebook, Insta, they say, okay, there's certain laws, or, you can
Report abuse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or you can block them.
Report to the administrator, but and they have a team. I do know that they have a team looking out for any sort of bullying sort of behavior, or an inappropriate sort of posts, right? But there are billions and billions of posts out there. They can't catch everyone.
Yeah.
I think the problem here is everyone wants to be loved and everyone wants to be liked. If you have no expectations in those areas, you will have no problems. That's my
your
stand.
opinion.
That is my stand. Because there are many people who cannot take it. And then there are other people who have really thick skin, like myself. Okay, let's continue to talk to Jerry about this on The Big Show TV. In the meantime, here's Christina Aguilera, Genie in a Bottle on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. How do we get people to train themselves so they won't be affected by bullying?
Does it start with
Cyberbullying.
Does it start with actually understanding why people bully? I mean, why do these people constantly want to troll and constantly want to give that sort of opinion over and over again,
And can I just say this very quickly, okay? I prefer cyberbullying to physical bullying.
Well, I mean,
Right? I mean, think about it.
but that's mental versus physical, which is just as bad.
I don't think any
And
bullying
psychological,
I mean, no bullying is good, but you had the choice. If you had the choice between being cyber bullied or physically bullied, which one would you choose?
physically.
Because then you can hammer the guy
Yeah.
back,
But-
right?
But
Have a chance to whack
but
back,
then
huh?
Jerry, Dr. Jerry goes back to the saying of sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt me, right? But it doesn't work like that in this instance.
I think it doesn't work that
For
way
some
in
people.
this day and age.
No, it doesn't.
But there's still so many people who are cyber bullied, but they don't care. They're like, forget it.
Yeah, there are people like that.
But
yeah.
there are just some people who get affected, and,
Yeah.
and we are looking out for them.
I don't think there's any less way of being bullied, like whether it's physical or online, or because it still affects you in different ways.
Why don't these people stand up for themselves? That's my question.
Okay, let me look at three. I know Angel asked about the bullies, but let me go with the case studies that I have and why I feel that it is important. Yeah. So, not many years ago, I think a few years ago, one of the teens, I almost lost her. Almost. Okay. And when she came back from the hospital, I sat with her and asked her what happened. And she said, this how teens are, right? So teenage love, teenage crushes, and apparently another girl thought she stole. So my client stole her boyfriend. Okay, it was a misunderstanding. Okay, the girl was extremely jealous that the guy she likes spoke with my client. So what they did was to start an IG account and spam that account with
no.
Oh my
hate
God.
posts,
Oh,
all
no.
sorts of photos of her, and rallied a lot of different people and a lot of hate posts.
Wow.
So this girl, so my client didn't know what to do, okay, because she thought it was warranted because she really did speak with the guy, okay.
She spoke with him. That was it.
Yeah, she spoke. I mean, they were classmates. What do you expect him
Yeah,
to do?
Yeah.
And I suppose the guy didn't dislike my client. If not, he would avoid her like the plague, right? So, but what was very unwarranted was starting that new IG account, rallying everyone, putting up hate posts, but basically, just cornering her and making her feel so small and dirty and silly, and she didn't know who to turn to. Okay, and this is a school with cyberbully ambassadors. Just that, sometimes would you actually walk up to the ambassador and say someone is bullying me? Sometimes you don't know. You just feel that it is part and parcel of growing up. But she felt so cornered that she felt, life is just not worth it. And she just basically overdosed.
Oh, dear.
Sister found her in a delirious state, called the ambulance, and was whisked to A&E. Thank goodness they found her in time. So that one is, she was saved in time. But she really felt, that it was unwarranted. She really felt that she was cornered. So that's a teen. Now, just recently, a month plus back, a 20-plus-year-old lost his life. And this is not my client. My client recounted because he knew this boy. And this 20-plus-year-old youth was reaching out on a community on Facebook. But what he got was he was shut down by the community. I guess he was in a bad place, so his language also wasn't very nice. But the community kind of shut him down, tell him to go and die, yeah. So there were a lot of heated exchanges, according to the client. And then 24 hours after that post was put up, he was found dead.
Oh, no.
Yep. And all the posts were taken down. And, but we lost someone just because, online, no one helped him but put him down.
Jerry, why do people do this? They go to a community online, which is so dangerous because you really don't know these people. Why don't these bullies go to family? Why do they go to people online?
So this youth actually went to a community that he knows.
Oh,
So-
wow.
Yeah, so he actually know the members in it.
Oh, wow. So they were kind of friends that bullied him.
It's like a society. Yeah. So the members know each other and they know them in person also.
So who can be held accountable for something like this? A cause of death because of bullying. Is there any law that can hold anyone? No, you're shaking your head.
No, I mean, how do you prove or disprove, right? It is your word, literally your word against my word.
And then also it's the way you react to the bullying,
Correct.
right?
Correct. But I guess whoever that said it knows it, right?
Yeah.
So one more case, if I may bring up, was also many years ago, a teen. And you know how teens are so vulnerable. So this is in the expat community, but she came here, a teenage girl, and she was chatting. She was very lonely. She was chatting to the friends in her school online. Okay, and the boys, with teenage boys with raging hormones, told her, take a photo of yourself naked.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so she took a photo of her breasts and she sent it to the boy. The next day, when she went to school,
Everywhere.
She was so devastated. She sat on the overhead bridge. Thank goodness passerbys, spoke with her, talked to her, called the police, and got her down.
You see, this is again something, I'm sorry, it's going to sound brutal, but I don't understand why a girl would do that.
Because she's looking for acceptance.
Yeah.
She's
Wow,
looking.
that
She's
is-
looking.
She wants
for,
to be loved.
She wants to be loved. Yeah, I mean,
that is so sad.
and I mean, equally the boy as well. He's like, oh, don't worry, I won't show it to anyone. This is just between us. It's very manipulative.
Okay, hold on. We're going back on air.
Stand by.
You too, with or without you, right here on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. You tuned in with Glenn, Angel, FD Sean, and Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room, and we're talking about cyberbullying this morning.
Yeah, it's a very difficult topic. And Dr. Jerry, I was asking you earlier, why do people bully, whether it's online or offline?
My notes, I'm flipping. Just in case you hear the noise and you wonder what is that, my notes.
It's
Okay.
okay. It's okay.
So why do people bully?
I've got 5 things, right? Actually, is it 5? Yeah, 5, 6 things. These are mindsets, actually. So one is revenge. They might have been bullied before. Okay, so people did it to me, so I am angry and I do it to other people, so I take revenge. Okay, sometimes I feel something done to me, not cyberbullying, but other things like this girl who thought that her boyfriend was being stolen. So I use the internet. I use a tool to take revenge. So they use the internet as a tool. Some people feel as if they are the judge. They feel like the judge. Justice and equality. So when they see something that, in their opinion, they need to raise up, they start to flame the other person. They use very strong words. They wouldn't let it go. And they think that it is their duty to fix things. But they don't realize that the other person, how they read it, might not be how the other person intended it to be. Okay? The other one is they want to feel power. They feel on the internet they are king. Okay? They dominate that conversation, because maybe they cannot dominate it anywhere else. So they are very capable in articulating, on the keyboard. So they feel a lot of power there. So the whole idea, I'm nothing till I do this, and there's always this response, right? Sometimes they do it because they think it's funny. They love the reaction. They love how people respond, how they grovel after that. Okay, so they think it's really funny. It's a joke. Life is a joke. So they push it in that way. But these people are very intelligent and very articulate, so they can elicit certain responses from the other person. Then we know that internet, you can be very anonymous.
Yeah.
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 Okay, and they hide behind that mask.
I find that so cowardice, though. I mean, to be a keyboard warrior, not to be out there and actually saying something to someone.
But I also feel like these days it's so easy. Just block the person, what?
But what about forums? People can actually go onto an open community forum and say something about you. Say on Facebook there's a group, or say now people are using Telegram to create groups and bully people.
But there's always a means to report or block, right?
Yeah, you block or you report, and you get out of that group so that you are no longer.
It seems easy enough, but I don't think it's that simple, though.
I think it is actually. Which is why I'm saying, right, there are certain types of people who are a bit more vulnerable.
Yes, absolutely.
Like the example you gave us, Jerry, earlier on about this girl whose peers asked her to send them a photo of her boobs.
Yeah.
Via what was it, WhatsApp or
Whichever.
What's
Yeah,
that?
whatever.
Yeah.
And then the next day she went to school, and
It was
she was the
everywhere.
most popular girl in school. Look, I mean, I'm not saying that she deserves it. You know, but at the same time, I'm not saying,
Okay.
Angel, don't look at me like that. I say I'm not saying that she deserves it. But what I'm saying, if she didn't do that, you know, she wouldn't be in that position.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? If someone asked you to do that, Angel, when you were in school, would you have done that?
I don't
And I'm
know.
talking-
I don't know because
I don't think you would.
because it wasn't a community that asked. It was one person that she was probably in love
Yeah.
with that asked her to do it,
No,
and
if-
now everything is exchanged over the telephone.
If I were a girl and someone asked me to send, you know, them a photo of me, you know, nude, I wouldn't do that.
It's
That's
very
not
it's very
fair,
hard to
Glenn.
say. She could have been 13, 14 years old and she didn't know any better. And for us to be in our 40s and 50s and say, "Oh, you know, well, you."
I
almost
remember
did-
at that time, you know, when we were in our teens, we had raging hormones as well.
Yes, but we didn't have digital devices. I think kids.
Okay, now
kids,
that's a fair point.
Yeah, kids live through a very, very different life now. A lot of it is online, less of it is offline. You know?
I asked the question where, even at 13, how can anyone think it's okay to send a nude photograph
Exactly.
to someone
Exactly.
else?
No,
and you cannot say that it's unfair because you know why? I'm making this comparison because you have people who are completely innocent being cyberbullied.
Yeah.
And then you have people like this girl who may have made a mistake. And then she's being cyberbullied
Cyberbullied.
because of
She's
that
paying for
mistake.
it, yeah.
So it's very different to me, you know. To me, it's like, okay, that one mistake, right, is the reason for her getting bullied.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Cyberbullied.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there is the other innocent person, completely innocent, like the example that you cited. That girl who spoke to
to
someone
someone.
else's boyfriend and
Yeah.
you know was just tortured almost by another girl. You know that to me is someone who's innocent and getting cyberbullied.
So you're saying that the girl that sent the photo is not innocent?
I'm not saying that she's not innocent.
No.
I'm just saying that she did something to warrant something like that.
I can't say that because she trusted in the boy and she sent the photo to one. You know, so I don't see it
But
as a mistake.
Don't you question a boy who says, "Send me a nude photo"?
No, okay. I will speak for every teenage girl who's been 12, 13 years old, who's fallen in love. And, you know, I didn't grow up with mobile phones and stuff like that where you can send photos and all that. But I can't say for sure that if I were her, I would not have done it.
That is a powerful statement.
And it's not
Yeah, boy.
because of my upbringing or anything. It's because I'm looking for love and I feel that this is the only way for the boy to accept me.
Boom.
Wow.
That's from me. That's what I feel. You know, I can't say I would have done it. I can't say I wouldn't have done it, but I can almost see where she was coming
When we
from.
come back, we've got to get Jerry's comments
I
on
want to
this.
ask Jerry. Jerry, would you have done it?
Hey.
Would you have done it? I mean, we're still on air. I mean,
We're still on air.
still on air.
Yeah.
we need the answer on
Angel.
air.
Angel says she may have done it. She.
You know, one would never know because
Yeah.
at that point in time you're not informed.
Yeah.
You don't know it's wrong until it's wrong. So yes, there might be, you know, sex education out there. There might be your you know, the values that your parents impart to you. Just that at that moment, that's why it's called a moment of folly, right? So at that moment, you don't know whether it is right or is wrong. You just think that, oh, but this is someone that I trust.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, if I trust somebody, it's trusting someone with your secret.
Yeah.
Right. So if today FDII said, "Can I trust you with my secret?"
And what is your secret,
Yes.
Jerry?
You know, not telling you, Glenn.
Yeah, it's very hard to tell what the girl's position was at the moment that she decided to send that photo. You know,
know.
it could have been the boy saying, you know, I'm gonna love you forever if you do this, or you know, if you want our relationship to carry on. I don't know. Nobody knows where she was at, whether it was mentally or emotionally.
I think Evie and myself are on the same page today.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking right now, right, and all parents should just tell their kids, right, protect yourselves at all times.
Parents can say it 100 times,
Yeah.
and the kids will not listen.
I have got to tell you, I told all my kids the minute they reached puberty, anything concerning nudity, anything concerning sex, if it comes out of a boy's mouth, do not trust it. And I drove that into them.
No, that's a good good
That's a
statement.
very good point,
Yeah.
but I think that's missing today's point.
Yeah.
Bullying is bullying is
Yeah,
bullying.
that is true.
Whatever that initiated or ignited it, it's still bullying and cannot be
That
tolerated.
cannot be tolerated. I agree.
And if he had asked for the photo with the intention of spreading that photo to the rest of the school, that's a form of bullying as well. That he bullied her
absolutely.
No,
into
my-
sending the photo.
Absolutely. That's what we're saying.
My point is,
She
he
should
asked
not-
for that
yes.
photo knowing he was going to send it.
Right.
Sorry?
So she
Yeah, yeah.
should
Asked
not.
for the photo knowing it.
Correct. So she should not have sent something like that to him.
Of course, she should not have sent it, but
This is a good one, Jerry.
it's all should have, would have, could have, right? I mean, the kid, I don't know how old she was.
No, you know how
and I
many
think
people
that's-
right now who are listening in are thinking, hey, you know what? This girl, if she has
Careful.
sent what do you call her what do you call naked picture out there, then she deserves it.
Careful, no.
She
Glenn is
deserves
right.
it. No, I'm saying there are people out there. I'm not thinking this.
that's
I'm
like-
saying there are people right now who are thinking that.
That's
you know,
like-
that,
no,
that
that's like-
the girl deserves it.
That's like saying a girl who wears a
Deserves
low
it.
top and a short
No,
skirt
that's
and
different.
gets attacked.
No, that's
no.
which is the
completely
same-
different.
No, it's
That's
the same
completely
thing.
different. That's completely different.
Okay, I tell you what, let's go back.
Okay,
We'll
let's
come
go
back
back.
and
Different.
continue this in a minute.
Yes.
All right, up next, Howard
right.
Jones. Yes, Everlasting Love on the Big Show. Hey, send us what do you think? You think?
What do you think you think?
88550-913. Okay, does that girl deserve it?
Oh,
That's
my
what everyone
goodness.
is.
That's what everyone is
That's
thinking.
not me. I'm just
But-
saying. Okay, anyway, send us via WhatsApp.
But Jerry, you have to admit, in society today, Glenn is right. There are a lot of people who are thinking this. It is not right to think it,
Yeah,
but there are a lot of people thinking it.
exactly.
I think you have to agree with that.
Nowadays, different.
You know,
No, we're not talking about the young. We're talking about parents with teenage kids. They're in their 40s. They're thinking it.
Yeah.
They're thinking it.
That's,
I mean, parents
Let's-
must
as
let's
in
not
they're thinking
pretend.
like, if you don't want
Let's
to
not
be
pretend.
bullied, then don't do anything
Yeah.
to
That's
warrant
it's,
that
it's
bullying.
very
Yeah, of
hard
course.
to say, though.
Teaching lah.
Very,
It's
it's
Yeah,
very hard
but
to
I'm
say.
saying that there are people now who are thinking that, you see. You know what I mean?
I mean, you can raise your child to be...
Okay, wait,
carry
let's
on,
let
carry
Jerry-
on.
Jerry.
Let
I
the
agree.
expert speak.
Okay, so I agree that we need to impart the values to the children. I'm not refuting that point. Okay, and should the girl, we can sit here and say, should the girl have done it? Should the girl not have done it? You know, again, we really don't know why she did it. We really don't know. So today is a teen girl who we think was rational at that point. How about, we hear a lot of abuse of Down syndrome children, Down
yeah.
syndrome teens who find that concept very alien to them. And they get exploited for their bodies.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they give that. Are they at fault?
No,
I don't
that's
think
different because they
are
have
at
Down
fault.
syndrome. It's true. They have Down syndrome. So, I mean, but if you have a perfectly normal person, right? And the person does it, I'm saying society will judge. Society will not judge this Down syndrome person, but the society will judge someone whom they see as normal. This is what I'm saying.
I feel I'm being outweighed by the boys here because
I love the fact that Angel is here.
because yes,
No,
I
no,
know.
It's good that
Right?
you're putting
Anjali,
your...
come
Yes,
over.
yes,
Come over.
absolutely.
I need Anjali's opinion because
Okay.
Anjali is 20.
Anjali will not
right?
be with you on this one.
Oh, well, let's see.
I don't know. She
Anjali
may
is
be.
20. She's closer to a teenage girl than I am, clearly. Not that far off, though. But Anjali, what is your opinion on what Dr. Jerry has said about this girl sending the photo? Should she, shouldn't have she? And the boy saying, if you've made a mistake, you pay for it.
I don't no. That's
No,
not what we're
that's
saying.
not what
That's
we're
not what we're
saying.
saying. We're saying that.
That's what you indicated.
That's what was
Which is why,
indicated, for
which is
sure.
why
Yeah.
it's so difficult
Yeah.
speaking to women sometimes, you know, because they
Watch
hear
it, watch
they
it.
hear a completely different thing.
Okay. Say what your stance is. Clear it up.
Okay, so this girl who sent out her photo,
Yeah.
right, to her boyfriend or whatever,
Of her boobs.
breasts,
Yep.
right? She got bullied.
Yes.
Right, as a result of that, because her scumbag of a boyfriend
Okay. Yeah.
went to send the photo out, right?
Yes.
So we are saying that because she did that,
Yeah.
all right, and she was getting bullied.
Yeah.
Society will go like, okay, she shouldn't have done that, and the reason for doing that is the reason why she's getting bullied. This is what we're saying.
Okay.
So there's a reason as to why she's getting bullied, and it was because of what she did.
Okay, I want
What
to hear
society sees
Okay.
as wrong.
Anjali.
I want to hear Anjali
Okay.
first, and then
I
I'll
just-
give
I just-
another.
Yeah, I just think it's very easy to say these things because you have the benefit of foresight. You have the ability and the maturity after all your years on earth to be able to say, we shouldn't do these things. But like Angel said, when you're very young, you don't know any better. And the fact of the matter is that the boy committed an illegal act.
Yeah.
Distributing photos like that is illegal. It's not illegal to send these photos because if you're in a trusted relationship, you will send these photos because you trust the boy. So I think the fact of the matter is that the boy did something illegal. So the fact that the idea that she sent the photo is kind of here nor there is the point that the boy
The
distributed
action
it.
that he did.
It's
Well,
the
then maybe
distribution.
people should learn
Excellent.
at that age not to send, nude photos of
Glenn,
each other.
Glenn, then I will give
Okay.
another example because this is a 30-year-old man, okay, going through divorce.
Okay, another example.
30-plus-year-old
Okay.
close-
I'm like,
Okay.
whoa, what is this?
We've moved on.
Okay.
yes, 30-plus-year-old man. I'm just drawing another example.
yeah.
It's closer to 40, yeah, and going through divorce. So now, because of his divorce, and it was very acrimonious, his credit cards, his emails, and everything got infiltrated. And we know what's that word called? Doxing, I think,
Yeah.
where you spam a lot of emails into somebody's, just spam emails into somebody's email box, okay, and then you start spending a lot of money, just spreading around all the credit card number and everything, just putting it on different platforms, and you realize, oh my God, you're chalking up a lot of things, but it is your security number, it is your credit card number, and but this is done with a trusted, or this was given to a trusted spouse. Soon to be ex-spouse. So then, who is to blame here? The guy? Should we blame the guy for giving, and trusting this woman all these years, and they have children together? So what does that mean? When you're in a relationship, you're supposed to trust the other person, with all your vulnerability. Unless you're telling me we don't do that, but that's not what we teach our children. Yes, we say new,
And that was probably her most important point.
Yeah.
You were frozen.
Can you
for-
say
Yeah,
it
you're
again, Jerry?
frozen, yeah.
You froze.
which part? I'm sorry.
Just the last
the
bit.
trusted, and
Just
then
like-
just the last 30 seconds or so.
Yeah. So when we are in a relationship, we're supposed to trust each other in our most vulnerable state, and we cannot blame. So whether it is a nude photo that I give in a trusted relationship, or a credit card number and my email that I give in a trusted relationship, is, to me, is on a similar vein. You see, it is in a trusted relationship that I provide these very personal information, and I trust that it should not be used against me. So for this guy, he's struggling now because he's getting like hundreds and thousands of weird emails and and spendings on his credit. Of course, credit card you can cut.
Yeah.
But the other areas where you feel that you're violated and your privacy is invaded,
My take on this is, and I agree totally with what Glenn is saying with the nude photograph. I understand where Angel and Anjali are coming from, because maybe I'm older and I've had 4 girls, for God's sakes. It's the most scary thing you can have with children. But I personally feel that bullying cannot be generalized the way we're doing it now. It's across the same vein. It's all the same. It's not. Every instance is a specific instance, and it needs to be treated that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's not cross over.
And based on the examples, all the examples that we've been talking about, right? This 30-year-old guy and all the other examples. One example stands out, and that is the bearing of the boobs example, right?
Yeah.
That is the only example that society is now going like, hey, you know, I think it's quite clear.
It's the way society thinks. Wait,
see, everyone else is going, what? It's all pretending, no? They're all pretending.
I'm not
You know
pretending.
exactly what we're talking about. That example is clear. Although it was a mistake, it was a different type of mistake. I mean, we're talking about teenagers here being careless.
Right. And this is where Matthew comes in and says... Wait, this is where Matthew
we go
comes in.
back on air. We go back on air.
I'll tell you
For
what
this.
Matthew says in a moment.
Okay, you read out those on air.
And also read on traffic.
Okay. Yeah.
FM 91.3 traffic.
Foo, hot and heavy today. Damn, this is a good one. Okay, let's see what's happening traffic-wise. KJE towards the PIE, vehicle broken down after Chua Chu Kang Drive exit, avoid lane 4. TPE towards the PIE, vehicle broken down after Pasir Ris Drive 8 exit, avoid lane 2. I know you're all saying, shut up, FD, we want to get back to the discussion.
Yes, quickly now.
Accident, KJE towards the PIE, an accident before the PIE Changi exit, congestion to Sungai Tengah. That's it for traffic. Drive safely today.
We're back on The Big Show. It's Glenn, Angel, FD, and Sean. And Dr. Geraldine Tan and Julian Cole, who's joined us as well. Let's just get Julian involved
Before we
this
get
as
into
well.
that, I understand where you guys are coming from, and it is a societal thing as well. This is where Matthew says, that's why we now have so much focus on mental health. Society expects normal people to be rational all the time. Is that realistic? Okay, that's concerning the girl with the boobs. Okay, that's just the girl with the boobs. The whole idea behind this is, and I think parents need to realize this, education system needs to realize this, it is not only about teaching morality and teaching values. It's the consequence of going against that morality and those values. That has got to be pushed across, and that is not pushed across.
Yes, you're right.
It is not pushed across.
You're absolutely right. And remember, the majority of people out there, once again, I'm talking about society, they are there to judge. They are there to condemn.
That's what they
do. They
do.
are there all the time. It's people like us in the media, right? We try to balance things out. You know, we try to understand. But the people out there don't give a damn.
I mean, people are always waiting to see you fail.
Yes, the moment you make a mistake, they want to see you
remember
fail.
that, yeah.
And they will constantly just remind you, the keyboard warriors.
Yep.
You know, so what we're saying here is that try not to make that kind of mistake. You can make mistakes, but try not to make that kind of mistake, because society, they are going to kill you.
But the thing is, mistakes are only mistakes until you make them. You know what I mean? You can't.
Which is why I'm saying it's very easy for us to say, Angel, because we're in the media, right?
Yeah.
We are very balanced. We know what's right. We know what's wrong. But the people out there don't care. They're just there, ready to pounce.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
why bullying happens. That's
Yeah.
why
So don't give
cyberbullying
people
happens.
a reason to bully you. That's what we're saying, right? You need to think and
Today, I agree with you. Don't give anyone a reason to bully you. But today, we're appealing for all the bystanders, the cyber bystanders, to do something. Because while all of you, you know, in the media, you're doing so much to remind us, we need the bystanders to do something also.
yeah.
You know, so that you know the bullet, you know, can have some space and can have some space of safety. You know, if not, then who dares to go out there? Who can we depend on, right?
Yeah.
And everybody just becomes a bystander.
And let me just tell you, Jerry, it's not easy for us in the media as well. You know, we get bullied, so to speak, all the time, right? I mean, I don't know about my colleagues, but I'm very thick-skinned, you know. So you bully me, that fuels me, you know. I love it, right? But there are people who don't like it. Like, for example, the whole Joseph Schooling saga, right? All of us were backing Joseph because we really love him. But we got condemned by some members of the public saying, the media raised the expectations of Joseph, and that's the reason why the whole nation is upset now. What do you expect us to do? We genuinely love him and we really wanted to see him do well. You know, and we're getting condemned for that, you know,
for being encouraging. Yeah.
You know, sometimes we go on air and we say nice things about our government because they're doing all these things, you know, to help us during this COVID-19 pandemic. And we get condemned as well, you know, saying that we're brown-nosed, we're sucking up to the government and stuff like that. You know, it's not easy for us.
Nope.
It really isn't.
But
you know?
this is where some of them, what you just described, belong to the I'm nothing till I can comment on all these. So they feel the power in their words. Yeah.
But to me, Jerry, there's no power when you stand behind anonymity.
No, there's none. No.
There is no
Show
power.
your face, right?
And that's what people have got to realize.
And I try to understand these people as well, because maybe all these people are going through a hard time, you know, and so, you know, they feel there's so much anger in them, there's so much hate. So when they bully people, right, it's like a release for them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not justifying their actions, but I'm trying to understand why people are so mean these days.
I don't know. And you were talking about, backing the government and everything. And that's precisely what sparked off my thought why I wanted to do cyberbullying today. Because last week when I came on the big story, after the minister's speech. And then I was so happy that, finally mental health is being spoken in Parliament, so publicly and, so blatantly. And I only had two questions to answer. One, what I think of the minister speaking. Two, what I think of the teachers and the parents. So my answer was, I'm very happy that, it's spoken in Parliament. One. Two, that the teachers had really stepped up and done a great job, because they are still struggling. And then I had people, so I went back and read the comments and everything, and people were saying, oh, this interview is all about praising the government. And I was like, oh,
you're missing the point.
I'm missing the point completely, right? And then, then it persisted with, you think if she don't do that, she can come back, meh? And I was like, what kind of... I'm adding my accent in it. Obviously, words don't have accents, yeah?
Yeah, no, that's all right.
So you were bullied too?
Well, I think it wasn't really bullying, but I did feel how some people who were, are relentlessly being battered by words online would feel. Because I felt I had no one to turn to. I felt very angry because they were missing the point. I felt like you don't know me for Adam, so why are you commenting? I felt that you've got nothing else better to say. Don't say, shut up.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, well done. Wow. Look, Jerry's got an angry side.
I love it.
Yeah, and someone sent in a quote: bullying is not a reflection of the victim's character, but rather a sign of the bully's lack of character.
So, one last question I have for you. Is there anything, and people are going to go, what? We talk about the bullied. How can we help the bullies?
Love them. Kill them with kindness.
Yeah, like what I said just now, right? I mean, I'm sure they have a reason because they're angry.
They're not loved.
They're angry because things are not going well in their lives.
So you
hurt people.
You will be surprised.
Yeah.
Yes, you will be surprised. I did have a few cyberbullies come to me and say, I actually don't really want to do it. And I say, okay, let's work with you on it. What is happening? Many of them are very insecure. Many of them, I work to build up their confidence, their self-esteem. I work through issues because they have specific issues that they latch on and they wouldn't let go. So we work through those issues. So that's why the bystanders are so important, because these bullies are being told, hey, by their partners, hey, please go and look for some help. This is not good behavior. So the bystanders are really important in any sort of cyberbullying or bullying sort of behavior, because if it is your friend, your partner, call it out to them, let them know that it is bullying, stop them, find out why they have a need to do that behavior, because sometimes they don't know why they need to do that behavior. It's not all disorders and impulsivity, and we love to blame that, right? So it's not that. Sometimes they have been very hurt before, and they really need to work through that.
You know what, Jerry? Let's do it again next week. How about that?
Yeah.
Let's do like physical bullying and cyberbullying. For next week.
Yeah,
I think this is a great topic.
I'm gonna give Julian his time. Okay. I just have a very last quote.
Sure.
Okay.
Please.
So what I learned from last week, because I sat with it for a really long time, and then I found this Buddhist proverb. I think it really applies on the internet. So on the internet, you have no friends, you have no enemies, you only have teachers. And I learned a lot from last week.
Oh,
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
Okay.
Can't wait for next week.
Thank you very much, Jerry, for joining us. We'll talk a lot more about bullying, because I think there's so many things
So many things.
that we wanted to talk about, but
Yes.
obviously, I mean, there's no time. So
Thank you for having me, and thank you, Julian, for being so patient.
No, it's okay. Anytime. I've been bullied before as well on YouTube, but it happens. It happens.
I was gonna say you would, because you put content up, so there are
Yes.
people
Yeah.
that are haters and
Trolls.
lovers
Yeah.
and stuff.
But you
yeah.
okay,
Even for the
right?
article, even for the articles, right? If I had a chance, I actually replied a couple of them before. I said, why don't you give me your name and number and we can meet up and talk about it? He didn't reply.
Of course,
He didn't.
of course.
Yeah, he didn't.
Okay.
That's a good response.
All right, Jerry, see ya.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Julian, very quickly, what are we talking about today? Road taxes, I understand.
Yes, we're going to talk about road taxes. We're going to talk about how ridiculous road taxes really are. The system just does not make sense. This is the topic that just... We're just telling people that we don't agree with the government. That's what it is.
Okay, we'll continue to talk about this on The Big Show TV. In the meantime, here's Roxette, Dressed for Success on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3.
Don't you just love those words? We don't agree with the government.
All right, so Julian, should road tax be made more transparent or simpler?
Both, man. It has to be more transparent. It has to be simpler, because I say simpler simply because a road tax for a 1 liter petrol car would be some $390 a year. Theoretically speaking, or mathematically speaking, shouldn't 2 liter just be $390 times 2?
Right,
It's not.
okay.
A 2 liter car isn't, what is 390 times 2? $780.
Yeah.
It's not. It's $1,200.
Right, okay.
So it's things like this. And yes, I completely understand that road tax needs to be, everyone needs to pay road tax. Road tax isn't so much of controlling the car crowd in Singapore. That's the job of the COE.
Yeah.
Yeah, road tax is partially an ownership tax, as well as taxation for all the pollution your car is giving out, and
Yeah.
obviously to pay for better roads in Singapore.
But that's always going to be the stand, right? Your 2 liter car is more polluting than your 1 liter car, so hence you pay over $1,200.
No, but then he is saying it should be double of the 1 liter. It shouldn't
Yep.
be more than double of the 1 liter.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, because it depends on what kind of 2 liter car you've got.
You agree?
Well, yes
Not all
and no.
2 liter
Yes
cars
and no. So
pollute the
I'll
same
build
I'll
the
way.
give
same.
you. I'll give you a classic example. All right. I did some research and I realized that if you think about it, a Lamborghini, let's do an LC500, a Lexus LC500, which is a 5 liter V8. actually has lesser power than the Ferrari F8 Tributo.
Okay.
Lesser power. It's 5 liter versus a 3.8 liter. But the Ferrari is more powerful. Why should I be paying more road tax for my Lexus rather than a Ferrari F8?
Well,
right? I mean, it doesn't make sense. But so I'm driving a 2 liter. This came to mind because I'm driving a 2 liter Honda Civic Type R. It's an old car. So what happens is my road tax this year, which I just paid for, is $1,800 because I've got to pay 150% because it's an old car. It's a COE car. Is it any more pollutive than, say, a 2.5 liter Toyota Crown, for instance?
You and your Toyota Crown every week, right?
Yeah. I've got to drive that message through. I'm just driving that message through. Think about it. I mean, how can you say that an LC500, which has a 5 liter V8 engine, which is also less
Pollutes
powerful
more, yeah.
than a Ferrari F8 Tributo, pay more in terms of road tax?
But isn't it more pollutive?
No, it doesn't mean that it's more pollutive. Cars today, yes, petrol cars, because of the presence of electric and diesel cars, they are obviously more pollutive. And if you tell me, you know what, you've got to pay, because we've got to make it very clear. When I say transparent now, we've got to make it very clear. If road tax is wealth tax, which means if you can afford to buy an LC500, you can afford to pay a 5 liter road tax, right? I can charge you more for it because you can afford to buy an LC500.
So should the road tax be pegged to how much the car costs?
It should be pegged to how much the car costs, in my point of view, because this means it's equal.
Well, that
Everybody
means-
pays the same.
Yeah, that means the rich get taxed more than anyone else.
Well, that's great,
Yep.
isn't it?
Yeah, that would be in terms of wealth tax now.
Yeah,
right?
it's
But
wealth tax.
If you're talking about pollution tax, if you're talking about, then you have to bring in more factors. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm just gonna tax you based on displacement capacity."
And then if you
I think it's gonna be
don't
more than that.
maintain your car properly, then you pollute more and all that. Then how does it work though?
I've never believed in our system anyway. I'll tell you why.
Wow,
Tell us how you really
Yes.
feel.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Especially since we started COE. It's the easiest thing in the world. You GPS chip your COE, your cash card machine. And you get charged depending on how many kilometers
That's
you
what
travel
they're
a
going
day.
to do, right? Isn't that what it's going to do? The distance that you drive is going to be
the
charged?
best way it's a flat fee. I don't care what the hell
But
you're
that's
driving.
not road tax, isn't
no,
it?
that's what road tax should be
Oh,
used
should be,
for
right.
because you're using the road.
Yeah, no, I agree. You pay
That's for
for how
me.
much you use.
I think the problem is because there are a lot. The formula is just very confusing, and there are a lot of algorithms, and there are a lot of figures that just plucked out of somewhere. And I don't even know how they derive this figure. I
Yeah.
don't know which scholar came up with all these figures as well. And so it is not transparent. There are countries in the world who are actually. People are actually paying road tax there, and it's a fixed road tax, or at least something
Yeah.
that's more proportionally scaled.
Yeah.
Not in Singapore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just very, very annoying.
So what do you propose we should have?
Well, again, it depends. If it's a wealth tax, just be upfront about it. I don't think it's wrong if you want people to pay road tax based on it being a wealth tax. If it's in place for the purpose of emissions control, the formula needs to be tweaked because road tax in Singapore was implemented, I don't know, God knows how long ago, 1960s.
And it's
it
never
was
changed.
implemented. Yeah, so, road tax, in order for it to be relevant, it needs to be tweaked. Road tax just needs to be tweaked. The COE was tweaked before, right?
Yeah.
Cat A used to be 1.6 liter, Cat B used to be above that.
Yeah.
Now they brought in 130 brake horsepower for Cat A,
Yeah.
and anything above that will become so. You need to tweak things as we go along to stay relevant. What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
road tax hasn't been relevant at all. It hasn't been relevant for the longest time. I mean. We need to adapt the road tax structure to the changing automotive landscape. I mean, if the purpose of the road tax is just to limit dirty, high emissions vehicle, it should be pegged against emissions vehicle.
Glenn, you've been very quiet.
Very quiet.
I've been
Yeah.
very quiet because I just pay.
You don't really
No,
care?
because to
you
me-
don't really care?
Like,
To me-
it's
I mean, have you ever had an issue with driving a less literage car versus a high literage car and then saying, oh, why am I paying this amount versus that? It doesn't equate to the same thing?
not really. I've never questioned
Okay, fair enough.
the road tax system because I'm thinking to myself, I'm sure there is more to it than meets the eye, lah. Right? And who am I gonna? I don't want to frustrate myself. You see, you know what I mean? Just like Julian, things don't add up. Yes,
Hence more
but
transparency.
what am I gonna do? I'm gonna talk to the Minister of Transport and ask him exactly what's happening.
But you're coming from a place where it's no problem for you to pay it.
Yeah,
What
but-
if someone had a problem paying it because it's so much?
Which is why I really do feel that here in Singapore, right, people are not encouraged to drive. It's not being made affordable for everyone.
yeah.
You know what I
and
mean?
yet
To begin
everybody
with.
drives. There are like a million cars on the road.
Yeah, they try their best, you see, to
They can do whatever with the COE, whatever with the ERP, whatever with the road tax, and people are still buying cars.
Well, because you're going to go electric and you're going to end up on the roads with petrol cars, with hybrid cars, and with electric cars, you need a road tax and you need a yearly
proper road
carbon
tax.
tax.
Yeah, carbon tax.
and maybe
That's
that's
it.
in the works, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping that's in the works.
Hold on,
Okay,
we're coming
wait.
up.
Go back on air.
The Rembrandts. I'll be there for you right here on The Big Show, 1FM 91.3. We're talking to the editor of SG Karma, Julian Koh, about how our road tax system doesn't quite add up.
It should be more transparent and made a lot simpler.
I think people just need to understand how you came up with the formulas. Why am I paying what I'm paying? Once they understand that, then they can make informed decisions as to what kind of car they want to own.
But nobody understands it.
Nobody understands it. Nobody understands
There's so many figures within the road tax formula that I have absolutely no idea. I have no idea where these figures come from. I can almost understand. I think I used to be very. I used to think like how Glenn thinks. It's okay because I think everybody should pay road tax. You want to have good roads on Singapore? You should pay for road tax. And like I said, road tax, it's sort of like an ownership tax where everybody should pay, whether you drive or you don't. The moment you buy a car, you need to pay for the road tax.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah.
But there's just so many variables. There's just so many different algorithms to it that I don't even know why a 1 liter car is paying that amount versus a 1.5 and a 1.6 and a 2 liter and God knows a 5 liter V8 car. It's all different. So we need to be clear. Is it a wealth tax or is it an emissions control tax? Because I know for sure, from my point of view, I know for sure it's not going to be a crop control tax because that's the job of the COE.
Yeah.
The road tax, on the other hand, needs to be a little bit clearer. I don't mind paying for it because it's not like as if I'm the only one paying for it, right? Everyone in Singapore who owns a car needs to pay for it. I think that's very fair. Everyone is in it. But we need to be a little bit clearer because I don't know how the formula came about. I don't know what I know what I'm paying for almost. I'm just telling myself, I'm paying because it's ownership and I'm paying because I hope, the roads are a lot better than our neighboring countries. I think that's fantastic. Singapore is doing a great job for that, for sure. But is it a wealth tax or is it an emissions control tax? What is it?
I think you should go one-on-one with Iswaran.
Yeah.
No, he has this segment called One-on-One with Iswaran, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you should write into Minister Iswaran and ask him if you would like to do a one-on-one with Iswaran with you.
And ask him about this special road tax calculator that they seem to have that no one else has
No,
access
because
to.
I'm looking at it, right? It's like cars, between 600 cc's and 1,000 cc's, there's $400 plus 0.25, and then there's an EC of $600 times 7.
This is what,
it's like a math problem.
This is what Julian is saying.
Yeah.
This is what Julian's been saying. Right?
You're only doing that because you've confused the whole public,
Okay,
and they're all just saying, "And never mind, I just
just pay. Yeah.
Okay. If I was the Minister of Transport and now you're telling me this, I'm going to go like, okay, so you're saying that a 1,000 cc car is, as you mentioned, $400, right? $400
plus 0.25.
Okay, never mind. And then a car that's 1,000, that's 2,000 cc is about what?
1,000. It's about 1,190, about 1,002.
1,002.
Yeah.
Okay, so to make sense, right? Then I will raise the 1,000 cc car to about maybe $600.
Then it makes
You
sense.
solve the problem by having a flat rate road tax for distance traveled and a carbon tax you pay every year.
And then a wealth tax for nothing.
No.
Okay.
It is a flat road tax X number of cents per kilometer or whatever, or X number of cents per 10 kilometers, and depending on your category, your carbon emissions, that way the older cars are obviously going to have to pay higher carbon emissions because they are emitting more carbon. You work out what these cars pay on carbon emission payments every year, and that's it.
What do you think, Julian?
I think it's fair. A flat rate is very fair. Don't get me wrong, because I wrote an article regarding road tax recently and how I felt about it. I mean, we are willing to pay, you know, although, you know, we complain about it from time to time at the coffee shop or in 91.3. But don't forget, I reckon Singaporeans, we are very obedient citizens. When we tell us to drink new water, we drink new water.
I don't drink new water.
No, I don't have that in my fridge either.
What makes you think it's not coming through your pipe?
No. Mine got special filter.
When he tells us to stay at home, we stay at home. And tell us, you know, lockdown, we lock down, except for the KTV people. I don't know about that. But you know what? You know, as a true blue Singaporean, I'm telling you, I'm a true blue Singaporean. I would really hate to be taken for granted, man. If you want me to pay something, I'll be willing to pay. Give me a good reason for it. I will not argue. I will not contest. I will do my best to understand where you're coming from. But please don't take me for granted, man, because at this point in time, I have no idea what I'm paying for anymore, man.
It's hard-earned money, right?
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
hard-earned money. At least, yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I don't go to the office and play games all day, man. I actually go to the office to get work done. I earn my money. I work hard. I work hard to save my money. I stinge, man. I buy Uniqlo t-shirts so that my kids can buy better branded clothes.
good,
you know.
Hey, I buy Uniqlo t-shirts too.
This is Uniqlo.
I tell all my colleagues I should be Uniqlo ambassador. Man. I should be Uniqlo spokesperson.
Same as
When you open my wardrobe, it's all color coded from white
look at you.
through. Right? It's all Uniqlo. And that's what I work for. I work so that I can save a bit of money to pay for my road tax, to buy Toyota Crown. And then you come and tell me, you know what, every year I've got to pay a road tax of XX amount of dollars. And I look back and I start thinking and I start calculating. I say, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense.
And this segment was not brought to you by Uniqlo.
Okay. All right. I tell you what, we can continue to
Yeah,
talk
we can continue,
with,
for
with
sure.
Julian on the Big Show TV. But stand by, folks, because our news guys are waiting right
Yeah,
now.
they are.
Yes,
My goodness.
headline news and sports next on the Big Show.
Big Show.
Let
Adrian, right?
in,
Adrian's waiting, right?
Let him in.
So Julian, when it comes to these carbon emissions, right? You've got this C1. How does it work?
VS, yeah, you have A1, you have
Yeah,
band
band
A1,
yeah.
and then right through to C2, yeah.
Okay, is that done on?
Never heard
tests?
of those things, man.
Yeah, when you when you buy your car, your pricing is different depending on the band.
I
Yes.
don't, my sales rep just sells me the car.
Okay. So are those bans, the emission bans there, tested under Singapore conditions, or is it something that the manufacturer supplies?
Okay, so the manufacturer will make sure that everything is in order, but when it comes to Singapore will do the test again to make sure that all the different pollutants, they've got a lot of it, some of which I can't even remember.
Yeah.
Make sure that they qualify for the different banding.
Okay, so they
I
do
think
test.
since 1st July, the banding swapped a little bit, so you now get penalized more and you also get rebates more. I think it's more by 5,000, so you're up to 20,000 each way.
Yeah.
You know where you can find out everything about your car now? SingPass.
About your
Yeah.
car that you own.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
So
okay.
everything, the breakdown is there because
Nice.
everything that you own gets put into
into
your
your
SingPass.
SingPass.
so you
Everything
can
is
check
on
everything.
SingPass, man. If you
Yeah.
forgot which school you went to, also it's there.
Forgot your grades back
Yeah,
then?
it's all there. It's all
Yeah, the
there. Didn't
problem
bring
is I
your
don't-
IC is there as
Amazing.
well.
Amazing,
My problem is I don't want to remember the grades I had.
Disable that part of SingPass.
Yeah.
You see, that's the thing. That's the thing I don't get. Singapore is so capable of doing something so advanced,
Refined.
and so refined,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's all categorized
Yeah.
properly. You know
Yeah.
what you did before, what you own, what you have done before. Probably where you have been for the last 2 hours. They probably take note of all it. But all these are in place. And I'm sure for very good reasons, right? When it comes down to certain things like road taxes, I'm sure they've got the capabilities to actually refine it a little bit, to just iron out all the nitty-gritties, to make it a little bit more fair for buyers and owners alike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But I
totally
don't
agree.
see why it's not happening.
Is that the same for motorbikes and all that as well, where it changes with the CC?
I think
don't
motorbikes
know,
is flat, I
actually.
think.
Oh, is it flat?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think
Flat?
bikes
But there's
across
so
all
many
the
different
classes.
types, right?
Yeah, we got 3 classes, but I think flat.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
not-
Exactly.
what
That's
the
what
hell,
I'm saying. So
man?
So
why is it
expensive
flat?
already, lah. We got no money
How
to pay
much
for
is it?
anything.
How much is it?
lot,
yeah. Oh, okay.
A lot,
All
just a
right.
lot.
He
Yeah,
doesn't-
but you've got those people driving huge Harley Davidsons. I'm
or
sure they
even
can afford.
those,
they can afford.
what are those big ones that
taxes.
have air conditioning and everything?
Air conditioning.
Yeah, they've got the
blowers.
Honda
electric
Goldwing.
lights. Yeah,
The
the
gold
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 wings.
wings. There you go, the
Honda
gold
Goldwing.
wings.
No, but I
yeah.
think we
Yeah.
need to understand that when it comes to vehicles and using the road, we need to step away from wealth tax.
Yes.
This
yes.
is not about wealth tax, man. Wealth tax the fella for his house. Tax the fella for all.
No, but as I mentioned earlier on, I don't think. I don't think. Well, I cannot say it.
No, say it. We're only on Facebook. Say it,
Still,
say it,
I
say it,
better
say it.
not say it.
He dare not. He dare not.
I
Okay,
dare not.
cut
I
this
dare not.
now.
Because you know what? I don't get cyber bullied.
That's true.
If I say something wrong, I'll get cyber bullied. No.
Yeah.
Either
yeah.
way, I think I'm gonna get cyber bullied as well.
I think,
Think
I
about
might as
it.
well take my clothes
think
off, right?
Yes,
I
do
think
it.
you and I both are gonna come out today after our
So we
comments.
just show them our belly, like.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. For life, we'll get cyber bullied.
But I
I
think
think that's you bullying
Our
them.
belly buttons.
I think we have. I think we all have a right to our own opinions.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
a right. I mean, to a certain extent, I hate to use this phrase, but you know what? Freedom of speech. You know, whatever. But people have different opinions. I think that's perfectly fine. But cyberbullying, on that note, is something that really annoys me. Now, I backtrack a little bit to what Dr. Jerry said earlier on, and I think it's like a teacher on the internet. And I realized this because in the past, when I wasn't really doing that many videos, but more of just doing content, writing, and all that kinds of stuff, I still get a lot of keyboard warriors emailing on the comments section. I get that. It sort of affected me at the start, and at the end of the day, I realized, you know what?
You can't control it.
I can't please everyone.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no way that I can
Yeah.
please, because they have their own opinions. They have the right to have their own opinions. I have the right to write whatever I want to write about, right? I have the right to come up with some YouTube content that I think is fair, that I think is factually correct, at least. It might not be for everyone. It might not be to everyone's taste. But cyberbullying, now that another thing is just, what are you guys thinking, man? I mean, you've got nothing better to do,
Yeah,
man.
no, I think that's exactly it. Nothing better to do. All they do is like troll the internet, see what they
Yeah.
can comment on, and then watch as comments come in
No,
so that they
because
can do it
if-
again.
If you've got nothing better to do, I would suggest you sit down and think of a better solution for road tax. Right? Think of a better
Exactly.
formula.
Cyber
right?
bullies all over Singapore.
Exactly.
Please, now you've got homework from Julian.
Yeah.
Because they think they're so smart, right?
Yeah.
You know this? I mean,
Yeah.
they always think that they're smart.
They know best.
Yeah.
They only get away with it because of anonymity. They're just coward shites.
Yes.
That's it.
Correct.
Completely cowardice. Yep,
That's all they are.
You're a coward.
Which is why I was actually genuine about that. I wasn't sarcastic when I actually asked two or three of them, actually. I said, why don't you give me your name and your email? I'll be in touch. We can meet up. And then you can talk more about what you just commented. Because I could be wrong. I just wanted to hear a different point
Their
of view so that I
opinion,
can
yeah.
widen up my horizon,
Yeah.
right?
So you weren't doing it like maliciously. You're not going to beat them
No,
up.
no,
You just
no,
wanted
I-
to have a conversation.
No malice, no ill intentions, no nothing. I just wanted to meet up, which is why I tried several times with different people, and they just disappeared.
They
And
also
another
won't
one
care.
of them, another one of them actually replied me and said, "No, I don't think so. It's fine."
No, a lot of
And I
people.
just said, okay.
Yeah, because I mean, like, they know that. Firstly, they may not be right. You know, their opinion may not be right, and secondly, they're just cowards. I mean, they can't stand up for what they believe in person.
I guess. I think it's okay to have wrong opinions. It's
Yeah,
fine.
for sure,
I think it's
yeah.
fair. You know what I mean? Like my opinions could be wrong regarding road tax for this issue. And when I go back to the office and I check my email, we get 100 unread emails and people commenting about what I just said. It's
You don't-
fine
don't-
because I could be wrong.
Don't
Yeah.
worry about any of the emails you get unless one of them is signed Iswaran.
one-on-one with
With
Iswaran.
Yeah, but if he sees my name, he'll probably just be like, forget it.
I don't agree with anything this guy
Yeah.
says.
What a waste of time, this guy.
Okay, Sean's showing us the red card already.
For the 20th time today.
give away a
we
prize
have
also.
to
We're going to give
go.
away a prize. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, Julian, for
Thanks,
joining
Julian.
us.
Thanks, guys.
And we look
I had a good
forward.
time.
We look forward to a more in-depth article regarding
Yes.
Road tax.
Yes,
on SG
I will.
Karma.
I will work on it.
All
I
right.
will work on it.
Awesome, mate.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Fantastic.
Take
Thank you,
care.
Julian.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, share the video.
You must. You
This
must.
was a good one.
Bye.